Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right, we have a great speaker for you now. As I said earlier on, I saw Mike speak a couple of weeks ago at one of Simon's Property Mastermind events. He went off on all sorts of different things that he was talking to us about in terms of mindset and so on. But this evening he's going to be talking to us specifically about how he's really systemised a great portfolio business that means that he doesn't have to work. And that is genuinely, does not have to work ever again. He's achieved some fantastic results in just 5 years. I'm not going to tell you too much more about it because that would be stealing his thunder. So would you all welcome Mike Ryan.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When I came in the room this evening, Simon said to me I was going to have to talk over the top of that music. And then, as you were clapping your hands, I thought I was going to be talking over the top of all of you talking as well. But luckily he was joking. I'm Mike Ryan. Some of you will have seen me talk fairly recently at the NEC. Hands up. I recognise a few of you. Andy was very polite in the way that he said I didn't spend very much time talking about multi-lets, even though I was billed to do that. I spoke for 2 hours and managed not to cover the subject. But was it okay? Did we cover some useful things? Yeah. I'm very, very keen on mindset. The reason that I created the success that I have is through reading the success literature and working out what out of that worked for me. And also, I was taught some extremely important, what I call secrets of wealth creation. And some really wealthy people that I've been, educated people that I've been advising who've got themselves into terrible debt was based really, the problems they had were based on just not understanding some really basic things about wealth creation. So I might just touch on that a bit this evening. I'm guessing not all of you will be interested in multi-lets. Who in the room has already got multi-lets? Oh, it's quite a few of you. Okay. Well, I'll crack on. I thought just to give a very, very quick little bit of background as to who I am. Before I got involved with property, I'd worked for 20 years as a business consultant in the horticultural and food industry. And that industry started to disappear. It consolidated, a lot of it moved over to Spain and to warmer climates. So I faced a disappearing market or a shrinking market. And I observed that a lot of the orchards and so on in Kent, where I'm based, were being taken out and replaced by properties. And I was quite disturbed, really, about the amount of industry that was being taken overseas, not just, of course, the horticultural business. But I figured out that no one was going to take property overseas because obviously we have to have somewhere to live. So it seemed like a really safe place to start putting my energies. I got involved 6 years ago. Anyone in here started around that time, 5 or 6 years ago, 2002, 2003? I don't know if you'll remember this, but there were dire warnings at that time that the housing bubble was about to burst. I've still got this 2-page cutout from the Sunday Times with pictures of houses in bubbles and why it was all going to come to an end. So I'm glad I didn't take much notice of that. And that's the problem today, isn't it? Who do you listen to? Who do you believe? Because the newspapers have a different story every day. It took me 18 months to replace the professional salary that I had with the rental margins from my business. But there was one problem. I was working just as hard as I was when I had a professional job, chasing after tenants and building the business. It took about another 3 years after that to make myself redundant from the business. And I guess that's why I'm talking to you today, because it's quite a nice position to be. And I hope you don't think, oh God, you obnoxious person, because I can remember having that thought, listening to other people who got to that financial freedom thing, and I thought, I want that, and you horrible person that you've achieved it. But if somebody has done it, whether you like me or not, at least I might be able to show you a few pointers as to how you might go about doing the same thing. So a little bit of background to my property business. It's not gigantic. I own 23 properties. They're mostly HMOs. I've also got a lettings business. When I first started, through redundancy, that gave me the kick to move into this field. I had about £500 per month of income for the first few months, which was quite frightening. I was paying the ex substantially more than that at the time. So I started a lettings business alongside buying property to increase my income, and I was the letting agent, so I was working hard in that business. I don't work in that business now. We look after about 200 tenants, and I have staff doing all the day-to-day work.